So we're now going to begin our fun part, which is math time. We're going to work into a supplier selection that use what we call total cost model, right? So total cost model is named like that because it takes in consideration kind of different types of costs to select the best suppliers. So we're going to have a material cost. Material cost will be P times D. P is price. D is annual demand, capital D. So it's kind of similar, or actually the same as inventory kind of math and other calculations we did. We're also going to add freight costs. So we have each supplier will have a specific freight cost. We're going to have inventory costs that we're going to calculate, and then cycle inventory Q divided by 2. So that's average inventory level. If you guys remember anything from chapter 9, it's should be that Q divided by 2 is average inventory level. Pipeline inventory is the inventory that you have that's going to you have during the lead time. So you bought it, you still didn't receive that yet, and then you're going to calculate annual inventory cost will be Q divided by 2 plus demand times lead time, all of them times H. Do you guys remember what H is? Holding cost. If you said holding cost, you're right. Plus administrative cost, right? So that's a cost of managing that supplier in terms of paperwork and everything. So the total cost model will look like that. I know it's an ugly formula, but I know you guys can do it. So P price times D demand plus freight costs plus the inventory cost, which is Q divided by 2 plus DL times H plus administrative cost. Okay, so let's see how it looks like in an example. So we have Compton Electronics, great manufacturers of laptops. The key element of a laptop is a keyboard. Compton, I think it's Compton, has identified 3 potential suppliers for keyboards in different parts of the world. They have considered import cost, freight cost, inventory, and all that. Annual requirements is 300,000, so that means our D, capital D, is 300,000. And let's assume that they work 250 days per year, okay? Which supplier has the lowest cost? And here we have a table, and you're going to find the problems examples, and actually this have a homework also problem that you need to do this. Have a tables like this where we have 3 different suppliers. We have Belfast, Hong Kong, and Shreveport, and each supplier can ship you in different quantities. So they can ship you 10,000 at a time, 20,000 at a time, and 30,000 at a time. So imagine that you have kind of 3 different, actually there is 3 different types of containers, right? So we have a 20 feet container, we have a 40 feet container, and you have a 40 feet long container. So imagine that you can ship those quantities. And what happen if you increase the quantity? What's going to happen to the shipping cost? It's going to reduce, right? Because they're buying in big bulks. It's going to reduce the shipping per unit that you're shipping, right? And this is the annual freight cost, right? So that's why it's smaller when it gets to 30,000 because that's the annual. Okay. So imagine that this is actually on the side here. So we have also for Belfast, Hong Kong, and Shreveport unit price. We have annual inventory carrying cost, so that's H. We have L, lead time, and we have administrative costs. Okay. So let's go to the math. The first thing is you have capital D, which is the annual demand, and you have lowercase d, which is daily demand in the same formula, right? I know that's tough, but I know that you guys can do it. You have those two, and you can't mix them up, okay? So we got the lowercase d 300,000 divided by 250. That's 1,200 keyboards per day, and that's our total cost. That's our total cost model that we just looked at. Okay, so just plug the numbers. So Belfast 10,000 material cost is going to be P times D. So D is 300,000, and the P is $100 per unit. Okay, where did you got that P value? Going back here, we have the unit price. Okay, so price equals $100. That's P for Belfast. And the 300,000 is the demand, right? So we know that we're gonna have $30 million in material that we're gonna buy. Addition to that, freight cost 380,000. Okay, where do we got that freight cost? Going back to the table, that's Belfast supplier, and that's 10,000 units at a time. Okay, and then boom, Belfast here, 10,000 here, 380 is where the freight cost is. Okay, so what happened is we're gonna have to calculate the different options here. So we can buy Belfast at 10,000, 20,000, and 30,000. So we have three options for Belfast. We have three options for Hong Kong, and we have three options for Shreveport. So how many options total? I know that this one you guys can do it. Even my 5-year-old can do it, and I'm doing kindergarten math with her, and she can do 3 plus 3 plus 3. I know because I tested her on that. So that's 9. Okay. So we have here now inventory cost. So we need again go back to that table. Q, what is going to be Q? Well, for this one is Q is 10,000, right? Because we're looking at Belfast at 10,000 units. So Q is 10,000 divided by 2 plus D, lowercase d, not capital D, 1,200, yes, units, which is 300,000 divided by 350 days a year, times 15, because that's the lead time, and times 20. So again, we have here 20 is the holding cost, 15 is the lead time, okay? And then we add the administrative cost, 180, where the 180 came from, here, administrative cost, okay? So sum all of that, we get 31 million and 20,000 as the total annual cost for this product. Okay, and it's Belfast at 10,000. Okay, so now we need to do Belfast 20,000, Belfast 30,000, Hong Kong 10, 20, 30, Shreveport 10, 20, 30. So you have to calculate that for the 9 different options in this example. And then the question is, okay, which one is the lower total cost time? You were right if you said Shreveport at 10,000. Okay, that's the lowest possible cost. So that's a suggestion that we can make to this manager here, to this purchase analyst, whoever is doing the decision, making the decision. This is your best option. Okay, and will cost 30 million 352.